paid your taxes by today, check out the very nice thing that we brought. You see that most of that was going to something that you hopefully very much disagree with. Rhode Island's top 4 exports. There are 3 different categories of scrap and waste. The other is our blood. Not the blood I'll bring up later, but the life-giving blood freely given to the hearts of the sick and the injured. There's another side of Rhode Island industry, subsidized by each of us, hiding behind bland corporate names and nondescript buildings. In our name, and with our money, the military-industrial complex is here in southern New England. We trace this octopus arm all the way to the Pentagon. On television these next few months, you will hear of government programs that feed students, clothe families, and dignify the aged, described as bloated, wasteful entitlements. I put it to you that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, a supply side or a bleeding heart welfare stater, that the fat to trim is in the Pentagon. For not only is each dollar spent there a betrayal of our needs at home, but each dollar spent there is a destabilizing influence on the order of things abroad. The cult of expertise, the masters of war, are not making us more safe, but are making us less safe with each day. The United States military spending falls just short of the rest of the world combined. Our peers in military spending are not the developed democracies, but rather repressive states like China, Saudi Arabia, and Russia. Their latest toy, the next generation B-61 gravity bomb, a nuclear weapon with an adjustable payload. After generations of lip service that we hope never to use our nuclear arsenal, we've created a weapon that is tempting in its versatility, able to blow up a building or make a 10-square-mile fireball that will kill or burn everyone within 20 miles of the epicenter. Abraham Maslow said that if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. The failure of LBJ's Great Society proves that the limited imagination of our leadership class cannot be trusted to make the decision between guns and butter. They have chosen guns again and again. 10% of the world military spending would be sufficient enough to fund UN goals to end poverty and hunger by 2030, and yet we seem to know no other language than the threat of blood and ruins. At a moment when Putin seems weakened by low oil prices and his gruesome and inept military adventures, at a moment when Putin is making overtures to the West, withdrawing from Syria and de-escalating from the Ukraine, President Obama is quadrupling our military spending in Central and Eastern Europe. They call it the European Reassurance Initiative. And I can think of no one besides the arms dealers who might be reassured. It backs up Putin's claims that NATO is seeking to encircle and isolate Russia and raises the stakes in this new tinderbox. Our treaty commitments are that we are to come to the aid of any NATO country invaded by an armed foe. Our renewed commitment to propping up NATO in Eastern Europe could elevate a regional conflict between Putin and Turkey, or Putin and one of the Baltic states, into a world conflagration between nuclear-armed nations. We're spending more than we did on our military at any point in the Cold War. But what is the return on our investment? Our high-tech weaponry cannot win us victory on the new battlefields of the 21st century. The seeds we have sown have not sprouted into flourishing free nations. Our seeds have been kicked indoors, indiscriminate air attacks, tear gas canisters, cluster bombs stamped with the flag of the Republic. We have only created a constellation of failed states, a nursery of hate and terror, rivers of refugees. And don't think this will remain a distant problem. This military hardware has been imported to home as well. In Los Angeles in 1991, last year the armed personnel carriers and riot gear were in Ferguson, Missouri. You can trust that if there were more people here today, you would see these things here too. Those who live by the sword will die by the sword. Those who sow in hate reap the fruit of what they have planted. Our discretionary military spending is 9 times greater than our education budget. No more. Our discretionary military spending is 9 times greater than our health budget. No more. Our discretionary military spending is 50 times greater than our food budget. No more.